So yeah, so this is the first ever time we've ever done this on the show, but it seems that this is the game that we've all played, and we've all got. Obviously, you guys got it on PC. I purchased it on PlayStation 4. Let's discuss our thoughts on Black Ops 4. James, to see that you were the one who's played considerably more than a lot of us,
Any of us.
I think you are the best person to probably take this up first. So let's just leave Blackout just off to one side at the moment. Let's talk about the normal multiplayer. How much of that have you played?
A lot. I think I'm on about 16, 17 hours at the moment, level 49. So nearly prestiged, nearly.
What day are we on?
Yeah.
How long's
And I'm
the
also
game
like
been
quite a
out?
high level in zombies as well. So
My
But yeah, no.
God. So what are your impressions on the general multiplayer then?
it's good. There's been some really good changes and stuff from the beta and stuff like that. Like just very minor, just bug fixes, things like that. But it's really good. It's the best Call of Duty it's been in a long time. I think they found a really, really good balance between having sort of like all the powers and not. So I think we went way too far with like Advanced Warfare with the jetpacks and the wall running and all that sort of stuff. So I think we've not gone back to fully boots on the ground, but we found a really happy medium in between where it's not infuriating but fair for everybody. And yeah, it's just in a really good state at the moment, I think. And the map design is amazing.
They've repeated a lot of the same because like this is like I've played it very little, I have to admit. Like most of my time has been in Blackout, but the multiplayer that I've played, I was a bit like, because I think I played about 8 goes on Team Deathmatch, and 6, I think it was like 6 out of the 8 rounds were old maps, and I was like,
Yeah.
is there any new ones? And it wasn't until I got
I like the old maps though.
Oh, I
The
do,
old
I
maps are
do.
one of the best bits.
I was quite
there are
surprised how many
some-
they repeated.
Yeah, there are some new maps in there because obviously it's really divided on this one. But with the new maps, they are very different. They're basically effectively they're the same layout as in imagine. Best way of picturing the layout is exactly the same as if you was to line it out on paper. However, what's in the map and just how it's constructed is completely different. Even down to the old ones were very level. Some of these maps are now completely level. Changes the way it's played completely.
Jungle's
So-
very similar though.
Jungle's
Yes.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Jungle's identical.
There's
yeah,
one called Slums. I can't remember
yeah,
Slums.
slums. Yeah.
I don't remember the names of a lot.
I know,
I
I've got-
just remember when I see the picture, I go, that one. I remember
Yeah.
that.
I know that
See,
one.
Slums, for example, has been changed quite considerably. Like
Oh,
that's
it's
different.
shooting range in this one or firing?
Firing range. That's exactly the same as
I
well.
love
Yeah.
firing range. I haven't got into a game with that yet.
No,
Yeah,
I haven't
dude,
got
it's
that one
great.
either.
No, the map circles are actually pretty good. I've only
Yeah.
got the standard edition, so I don't get any bonus maps, and I still haven't seen a lot.
Well, there aren't any bonus maps anyway in multiplayer anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like, obviously, I'm literally handling a lot of this. Ed, I know you're not very well, so I'm not trying to push you too much on talking. So I'm leaning on you a lot here, James. So be prepared.
Yeah. No, that's fine. dude.
So heading over to Blackout Mode. Obviously, we discussed this a lot on the previous show when we discussed about the beta. But obviously, with the new release, is there much different from the final release to the beta version?
Not a huge amount, no.
And what are your personal thoughts? Like, obviously, again, we're covering a lot of ground that we did last week, but what are your personal thoughts on Blackout Mode as being a battle royale in its entirety?
It's great. It's absolutely unreal.
I think we mentioned that before, didn't we? That it's one of the best shooter games there is. So why would you
Yeah.
not adapt that to?
Well,
the
most FPS games strive to have the shooting mechanics of Call of Duty. So when you put that very well balanced and fleshed out like game already into a battle royale, it's just it's like it should have been the whole time. It's just so perfect for it. It's great.
Like
Gibran in the chat has mentioned that the way that some of the maps have changed they've added a few corridors and stuff to make use of the mechanic of crouch sliding.
Yeah.
But because they took out the exosuit stuff, they've had to remove a lot
That's
of those
correct.
kind of
Yeah.
things.
So you don't have
which
the wall
makes
running
sense.
either.
Because
so.
I didn't like the wall running you mentioned before. I didn't
No.
like that. I'm glad they've taken that out because it felt that was one mechanic that if they didn't have before, I would have gone, yeah, this is just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very much enjoying it. The Blackout mode's quite difficult for me, I find, because I'm not that great at shooting in Call of Duty. And also, everyone seems to always have better armor than I do, and so I can unload several mags into them and they don't seem to die. Call of Duty seems to suffer from the same problems that it's always historically suffered from with me, which is I'll unload an entire mag into someone and they don't die, but they shoot me twice and I die. And I'll scream, and it'll never get fixed. I think, isn't that something to do with their latency and their server, the way they're...
No, it comes down to just pure accuracy. It's like if you're mostly going for body shots and your opponent's getting all headshots. So, for example, it's 7 bullets to the chest to kill, but only 3 to the head. So it's going to be vastly different.
I find like Call of Duty in the past a very infuriating game in itself. It's like, because I'm not a very good first-person shooter. I do okay. I used to do all right in World War II. I used to have moments of like I would call excellence. I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually good. And then I do another round and then do absolute diabolical. But I have to admit, what I do like about how they've set up Black Ops 4 is that it's got a nice, like as if they spent a lot of time on every section of Black Ops. So you've got obviously Blackout, you've got the traditional multiplayer, and then you've got the zombie mode, and each one feels not like it's been tacked on. It feels like it's got multiple layers to it. Yeah. And Blackout is like where I played it. I played a little bit of Fortnite, played a very, very small amount of PUBG. But I do feel like this one is a great introduction to Battle Royale games, and it's very, very easy to understand. Because I was a bit concerned, like, obviously I was speaking to you guys last week about it. I hadn't played the beta, so I didn't really know what to expect. And the one area that I was a bit concerned about was the item picking up and how adding modifications to your gun works. And like, well, is it going to become fiddly? Is it going to be a problem picking them up? And then is it going to auto-attach? Is it things like that? That was what was running through my head. But the way they've got it set up in the controls, obviously on PlayStation 4, is literally, I think it's like triangle to auto-equip or square to pick up and things like that. And it feels very right. It just seems to work. And after a game, 1 or 2 games, you start doing the things and you don't really need to think about it. It's just instant. You like, it makes sense straight away. And I think that's probably one of the best things where it'll introduce to a lot of new players the style of gameplay. And it's easy to understand as well. It's very, like, they've got the little bar on the side of the screen, which I didn't know about before playing, where it literally tells you where the bubble is in comparison to you and where you need to be. That is amazing. I was like, this is fine. This is really, for me, as a sort of between casual and like, I'm going to say hardcore gamer, but
that's PUBG though.
PUBG does have it,
see, again, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But,
I actually uninstalled PUBG because of this game. Because I've been hating PUBG recently. I don't play it. When I do, it's a buggy mess and it doesn't feel very good anymore. I'm not really enjoying it, so I uninstalled it because I actually enjoy playing this one. And when I do get tired of it, I just log out and go into the regular multiplayer, which is a different kind of experience whilst being the same.
This is one thing that I said to Luke the other day. I was like, I can see myself playing this game so much because of the fact that I love all 3 modes the same amount, and they're all so good. It's, as soon as I get bored of one, I can transition to the other, and then the other, and then I'll want to go back to the first one again. So I'm in this constant vicious cycle. I don't need to go anywhere else now.
I'm exactly.
I get bored of zombies though. Historically, I've always found zombies very boring.
You're doing it
for a bit. Maybe you're right. But I don't know, like, I kind of just get a bit tired of it. Like, it's fun to do once, and then I go, oh, I'm not going to touch that.
But do you get into the stories? Do you do the stories in them? Do you do the Easter eggs, the bosses? See, that's where all the fun is. It has a whole storyline, and doing the bosses. Because, like, for example, you know the one we were playing in Rome?
Yeah.
That's got 2 giant elephants that you fight at the very end in a whole new arena. You teleport to a whole new arena and then fight these 2 giant mammoth elephant things.
That sounds fun.
And then you're doing that, so, but there's you have to do, like, you have to build a trap and then put a skull in the trap and then turn it on and it melts it down into a scorpion, and you put that in the box and it turns into a scorpion weapon, and then you have to do a load of challenges, put powder in a bowl, set it off.
That's what I like about it is that each section is so different.
Yeah.
And like, I'll play team. I'm not very over experimental when it comes to the traditional multiplayer on it. I play team deathmatch, and I played a little bit of. Is it Conquest? No, Conquest.
Domination.
Domination. Is it where you have to have the objectives? One team has to hold the positions to take them, and then the other team has to defend.
Domination is when there's 3 on the map, and you have to control as many of them at once
No,
as
there's
you
a-
Point
can.
A.
There is
you're
another-
thinking
You
of
might
HQ
be thinking of
headquarters.
Hardpoint, where it moves. There's just one, and then
There's
it moves
another.
around
There
the
is
map.
another mode that I was playing where
Headquarters, isn't it?
Is it headquarters? Something like it was a bit like
No,
that.
headquarters is the one where it moves.
It was basically the one team attacks, the other team defends, and you've got like so many tickets on the game.
Oh, I know the one you're on about. Yes.
I played a bit of that one. That was
That's
quite
new.
good fun. That was quite
I was
good
going to
fun.
say,
I quite like that.
familiar with that.
Yeah, that's new for this one. Yeah.
If anybody in chat could
I'm
let
a big
us know
fan
what
of
that's
Search and
called.
Destroy. Search and Destroy, I'm always a big fan of because it's very tense.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of XP per kill.
Slow and
it's,
slow right down as well. It's different sort of pacing.
Yeah.
I guess that is like kind of
That's
like
why I love
almost early version of Battle Royale in some ways, because obviously it's like instant kill. You have to wait for the next game to start and things like that. But it's like if I get frustrated. Control, yeah, nice one, Gibran. Thank you. Control's really, really good. I like that one. But when you get frustrated with multiplayer, the traditional one, it's like, fuck, I can't get any kills. Ugh! And I go, ooh, I'll play Battle Royale. And then I play Battle Royale for a bit. And I kind of been jumping back and forth between the two. When it comes to zombie mode, I don't play a lot of it. But when I do, it's usually when if some of my friends are available to play, I'll have a few beers and we'll just sort of piss about and see how far we can get through. Like me and one of my other friends, we're quite into it, so we're trying to look out to see how the puzzles are solved and what to do. My other couple of friends don't really give a shit. And they just kind of like follow our lead and they follow what we do. But it's because it's so different. And having the zombies mode with multiple difficulties as well. And bots as well in the game now. It's adding different layers of enjoyment. So if you don't fancy going for it full hardcore, you don't have to. Go for casual and just chill out, piss about, shoot some zombies, see how far you can get and have some fun. And I really like that. And it seems like they've really thought out each section of Call of Duty in this game. And I have not missed the campaign in the slightest.
No, I haven't. I haven't even given it a thought that it's missing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's a little there's a story trailer, isn't there?
There is a story. Because the thing is, there is actually a story to it though. But basically, if you go in the main menu, if you go to they're called operators. So if you go to operators HQ, there is basically training missions. So every operator has a training mission that you can do, and every single time you do it, it unlocks a video, and it slowly takes you through the story of Black Ops 4. So there is kind of like a single player, but
seems
it's
like an
basically
arduous way of telling
multiplayer.
a story.
It's actually quite good fun.
To be honest, I was thinking about this the other day. Why did they even bother doing this? And it's probably to give the game a form of identity.
Yeah.
To justify the 50 quid purchase.
The first video is so entrancing though, because like at one point this woman, she gets like a mouth blown out, and it really
quite graphic.
Like grabs you into the story instantly.
I think whenever I think of some of the previous Call of Duties that I've played, I kind of always think of like one character from the campaign as like usually it's whoever's on the box art basically, and usually obviously that's someone who's quite important to the story. And I think that's probably why they've done this, just so then when you think of it, obviously you think of, I think when you think of Black Ops 4 going forward, you'll think of the Battle Royale mode, but they can still have a visual reference to that game. Does that make sense? Something along those lines. Anyway, guys, let us know down in the chat. Have you been playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4? Have you preferred Blackout over the traditional multiplayer? Have you not bothered with Blackout? Do you prefer the zombie mode over all the other ones? You know, like you might only prefer that bit. Let us know down in the comments.